Hello there, it's June here, and speaking to you from behind the camera today, because I'm just going to show you how to depot one of these MAC quads. Okay, so the one I have here is the Pallas Pedigreed, and it's from the Fabulous Felines collection, and this is the third one of these. There are 3 different ones. So here we are, and these are really nice. They're magnetized pallets, and they're quite nice, but obviously, you know, if you're like me, you want to keep everything in bigger pallets, so you want to take this out. So here's how I do it. What you're going to need is a candle, lighting, and a knife, like so. So hopefully I will not be giving you a close-up of me cutting my hand off. I'm just going to show you where the knife is going to be going in. If you can see where my nail is right now, and in that ridge there, this plastic panel here comes off the pallet. But it's very, very tight, so you need to be really careful. So I'm just going to show you now how I do it. I'm just going to go in at the side. And you have to kind of look around it and find where the gap is slightly wider, so you can get your knife in. So I'm trying to hold this in view so you can see it. I won't go in there. I might go in here. You can see it's quite difficult to actually find somewhere just to get the knife in. Sorry about this now. We will eventually succeed. I'm just going to angle the camera down slightly so you get a better view of what I'm doing. So apologies for this, it's a mess, but I'm not going to be winning any Oscars for cinematography here. It's just a matter of getting in at it. There we go, we're in. Okay, so you can see that's gone in there into that gap. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my knife in there. Okay, now that's broken, but it shouldn't. It actually, the other 2 pallets I have, it didn't break, it just came off in one go. Now I'm just going to get a stronger knife. This looks hazardous, doesn't it? And it's actually okay. Okay, so we go in again. I'm just gonna remove the back of this, and you see now the way it's just coming off. Okay, and so what you're left with then is, there's the front of your pallet, and there's the back there. All right. Okay, I've moved my setup here over to the table because you're probably just not getting a good enough view of what I'm doing from where I was. So I'm just going to show you. I've already taken this eyeshadow out. I already did that on camera, but unfortunately I don't think you may have been able to see that properly, and so it just didn't work. So I'm just going to do it again with this one here. Okay, now as I say, you really have to take note of the name of the shade that you have, and make sure that you label it before you take them all out, because they're named in order of where they're positioned in the palette, and you might think you'll remember, but you may well not, because I know I wouldn't. So yeah, so I'm just going to show you how it works. So what I'm going to use is, I'm just going to take this one out now. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it over the flame. This is very like depotting any eyeshadow, any MAC eyeshadow, any other eyeshadow really. This process. This part of it is pretty similar, so I'm just going to It is so hard to work through a viewfinder, guys. It is really hard. So I'm just melting away here now. You probably can see what I'm at. So I'm just waiting until the plastic starts to bubble a little bit. I'm not going to melt it too much. So you can see there the plastic is beginning to get kind of bubbly looking. So then I'm going to take something fairly blunt like the back of this knife, and I'm pushing it through this side here. Oh, hang on, it just hasn't melted enough yet. Just softening the plastic. Okay, and I'm using something fairly blunt, so it's the end of this knife here, and I'm just going to push it through to the other side. Okay, so I'm pushing in, and out pops the pan very easily. The reason I'm not using anything too pointy is because if part of the pan is still stuck, what will happen is that the pan can actually buckle if you press something pointy into it. And you can break your eyeshadow that way. So what I've done there is I've pushed the plastic back into the original position so that it's flat. If you're careful with these, you can use them again. I don't know, this one looks a little bit messed up, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to use this again. But if you're very careful and push the plastic back nice and flat after you push out the pan, you could conceivably use these quads again. So that's that one. So then just got to take note of what that number is, and I'm going to write the name on the back of that straight away before I proceed with the other ones. So that's it. That's how I depot MAC quads. It's pretty simple, but you do just have to be careful that you've really heated the pan sufficiently before you try and push it out. And also make sure that when you use something to push the pan through from the other side, use something fairly blunt. Okay, and obviously be extremely careful when you're taking this bit out at the back, because the gap can be very, very small, and you just have to mess around with it till you actually find a little spot where the blade of your knife is going to go between the two, into that little gap between this and the palette. So that's it. Sorry about the awful cinematography here. It's really, really bad. I'm certainly Temptalia can rest easy in her bed. She's got no competition from my direction anyway. So I'm just going to proceed with the rest of this now, and I hope this was helpful to you. So thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll be back soon with more videos. Take care. Bye bye. Can't even blow out the candle properly.